Perfect. Hello, hello. Thanks for coming. So this quote is very huge on everything that we do on Monday morning mindset. I'm going to read it for you because I've actually used it in a speech that I did. But if you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hands. And this is from Bob Proctor, someone that we follow on our Monday morning mindsets quite a bit. Um, Karen, you're new, so you didn't follow with our Bob Proctor. You're starting with Mary Morrissey. So
Mhm.
this is just a beautiful quote because it's about visualization and it's about getting it into your subconscious, which is what we're going through right now. So I wanted to put that quote up. Okay, so for anybody that doesn't know me, I got into the holistic field back in 2014. I trained as a registered bioenergetic practitioner. That brought me to focusing in on allergies, which is then once I dug into allergies, I got into the gut. And then I became pretty much a gut health advocate. I did a lot of microbiome conferences. I went to a training at the Gut Institute in California. And that brought me through to fermentation. And then I fell in love with fermentation. So, as you can see, I'm coming full circle. What
Yeah.
really got me into BIE in the first place was my son's allergies. He cried for the first 8 months of his life. And I went back to school for holistic nutrition at that time, simply to become to get my BIE certification. And I did that to help fix him. I did a whole food elimination. I knew the trigger by this point, and then I cleared it with BIE, or I rebalanced it. So this is why I'll never get rid of BIE, because it's
Mhm.
just so true to my, like, the reasons why I did it with my son. But
Mhm.
I've helped so many other people over the years. I've always done it pretty part-time because I have kept a full-time position all these years as a product manager. So I build software for a living. And in the medical space, so my full-time is medical, but my part-time is all about holistic and how we can prevent disease. All of this time, that's where I got into a few other things, hair tissue mineral analysis. Then I moved all the way through into mindset and the power of the mind, because it's so huge with health and getting over traumas and all kinds of other issues and ailments. So here I am coming full circle. I closed my doors just before COVID, so I wasn't seeing one-on-one clients with BIE as of I'd say 20, just 2020, right? It would have been.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
then, yeah, and I was always looking for a distance solution. So with BIE, I love it, but I was limited to people in my area. And I always had people like, I wish I had that in my area. So I've actually sent the certification to certain people who ended up getting trained just so they can work with their children. So then I found a solution called AOScan, and a lot of BIE practitioners went to this for distance education or distance frequencies. I still do both. Some have moved to that. Some have, well, everybody has moved to that that I know. Um, but it's just a different modality, but it really uses the same concept because frequency is everything is energy. So when we look, we've seen with Mary Morrissey the scale and how your emotions have a frequency. And when we tap into that frequency, you start lifting yourself and attracting that frequency. So we are going to learn this whole time about getting into the love frequency and abundance frequency and gratitude frequency. The moment that you're in gratitude, you're in the right frequency, not the competitive mode. Um, all of that. So you can see here how electricity really, I put a bulb here because It all starts with electricity and how it works. And when we're working with energy, we have to be hydrated. Same with electricity. So water holds frequency. And if your body is hydrated, you are going to absorb and be able to rebalance with frequency as well. So right now we're going to focus on the AO scan. I'll move away from bioenergetics. I'll be doing a bioenergetics webinar very soon, actually, on allergies. So anyone that's interested, just make sure you let me know. But today we're going to do the AO scan because this is what I use for my mindset. So the AO scan goes back to 1982. Lawrence Swenson was the founder. He adopted a son who ended up having cerebral palsy, and he wanted to figure out a way to heal his son, and he wouldn't take the answer from the medical professional. So he kept searching. He ended up going to China in 2008 and found a technology which I believe later they sold the technology to Lauren. So that's where the system pretty much he obtained the license for it. And then in 2012, he opened up to the US the scanner. It was a $38,000 machine. And that to me in 2012 would have been about the price because to get to invest in our BIE technology, for me at the time was a $20,000 investment just to get the machine, but also all the vials that came with it. So I have approximately probably $10,000 worth of vials that I'll never get rid of. They're so precious. And then we have a yearly registration fee. So that to me would have not surprised me at that time. But now in 2021, they've made it so anyone, not just practitioners, but anyone can afford it. So it's 149 USD per month, and then you get the full application suite for it. There's a video called, if you YouTube it, you can YouTube how Solex came to be, and you'll find the story of Lauren and his son, which is pretty interesting as well. So now the programs in the AO scan, there's everything from a supplement library where you can scan in supplements, an EMF protection area, an easy scan mode, which combines both the next one, the inner voice and the vitals. So it combines several scans in one. We have the hormone body scan. We have the multi-scan where you can scan up to 16 people at one time if you're doing groups. We have a comprehensive scan, which is also contained in the easy scan. So it combines inner voice, vitals, and comprehensive. The body systems, which is also part of the hormones. It's just such a new panel, and it's great. We have chemistry as well now in the body systems. We have a dental module as well as a homeopathic energetics module. These two are locked with further training, but when you first join with the 149 per month, all of these are available except for those two. Then we have Cephi, which I'm going to be talking about today. It's called Subtle Energy Frequency Imprinter, the MindSync application, which is I'm the biggest fan of MindSync. And then a multicast where you can send 16 people Cephis all at once. And this is what I did. The last time we did the program, I was sending everybody abundance frequencies during our Monday morning. So yes, today we're only going to focus on Cephis and MindSync. I just want to really dial into what we're talking about tonight. So the MindSync application is very based on affirmations. So everything that I've learned through my Bob Proctor mentorship and with Mary Morrissey, like all of them, it's all about affirmations and speaking. It's amazing if you really sit down and think about how you speak to yourself or think how it can affect your outcomes. So having affirmations and speaking really good thoughts and speaking in the present like you have it already. So I am and then typically that's in the present. And speaking in the mirror is even better, and really having emotion to it. So you can do your I am affirmations. I have here on the screenshot, and I'll go into the app and show you, but I choose a custom 120 seconds. So that's the longest. And I typically talk for the whole 120 seconds. And then when I email myself, I can listen to that. But what it does is you can actually add a tone. So let's say there's different frequencies and tones. You can choose the tone that you want. And then you can also scan yourself for which music that your body wants, or you can choose, there's uplifting music, there's relaxing music. And then if you look down at the bottom, so you could use the volume. I always put the voice at the top, the music a little lower, and then the tones. These are binaural beats, so you're getting an 8 frequency difference between the ear. And so that's why you want earphones for MindSync. When you put them on, you're actually hearing the tones on each ear with 8 frequency difference. Sometimes when you're first listening, it feels weird, like it sounds weird because everything is off, but eventually you're aligning to the middle of your brain, and it's a lot easier to enter in what you're listening to with your own voice once it's aligned and into your subconscious. So it helps you cross the subconscious a lot quicker. And it helps you reprogram your beliefs. So this is going to be a huge thing that we're learning in the 8-week program with Mary Morrissey. Now there's pre-recorded. I'll go ahead and I'll show you that when I open up the app. But there's pre-recorded where you could just read from the screen as well. So the MindSync to Abundance, what I had done back in November and December is I sent each participant. So we did the 8 weeks of abundance with Mary Morrissey back in November and December. And especially the blocks were huge. I was able to record that for each participant. And then I did each week, everybody would get approximately something to read to me for 120 seconds. And then a custom client one over the 8 weeks. So each week they would have, every person that came on board got 8 pre-recorded mind syncs. And then I did the recording and everybody sent it to me through Facebook. This round, I decided, you know what, I want to empower people to do this on their own, which is why now I'm not selling me sending it to people, but I really want to tell people that this software is available for them and it can do so much more, and I can train so many more things over time. But this could be done really quickly and it could be very powerful. Let me see what I got here. Now, Cephis. So again, Cephi stands for Subtle Energy Frequency Imprinter. So there's over 1,000 frequencies to support things like illnesses, emotions, injuries, and more. There's actually good frequencies in there, like abundance and self-care and all of that kind of stuff. So you can create custom frequency lists as well. So I'm going to show you 3 abundance lists that I've created. And then you can also scan to see which one you feel like, which one your body needs. You can also use this to imprint. You can get homeopathy pellets and imprint them. We have all of the flower remedies, the Bach flower remedies in here. And we have these dots that you can get and you can put them on acupressure points. So you imprint the frequency and put them on acupressure points. And Karen, you know how BIE works, but we're working with acupressure points. So it's really neat how there's different software, but it's kind of the same in a way. And then you can broadcast frequencies to anyone, anywhere in the world. So we use their picture as the target. So you have a picture of the client with, so let's just talk about me. I have my picture, my birth date, my name, and that is the target. So when I'm doing it for myself, I make sure I have myself in the picture right above here. And if it's somebody else, then I load their profile. So the different categories, and you see them all here, and I'll show you them in my software. We have the quantum reach, so all the positive affirmations. We have the quantum frequencies. These are all the illnesses and ailments. So they have a database with all of the frequencies to get over the ailments, so you can send them over. We have another quantum affirmations with more affirmations. They're a little different. We have the quantum flowers, which has all the Bach flower remedies and the bush flowers, the Australian bush flowers. We have all of the chakras that you can add in, and we have over 300 homeopathic remedies. So this is amazing because you could just send it, the frequency of it, over to your client or yourself. Homeoenergetics, these are all the miasms and detoxing main principles. So we have a nervous system one, there's liver, different ones. Not so much used for abundance frequencies, but then again, the Cepheid dots that you can imprint and put on acupressure points. So just looking at homeopathy and the Bach flowers. So again, there's over 300 homeopathic remedies in here that we can use, over 100 flower essences. Right now it's the Australian bush and the Bach, but I can't wait to have some other different frequencies. So they're really looking at all of the different flowers. And again, you can imprint those. They also have the cell salts and the no-sods within the homeopathy, and also the minerals. So within homeopathics, if you don't know all of the homeopathics, you can actually search by ailment and then look at what you need for certain things. I should have looked up if they had an abundance one. This is a screenshot from a previous presentation that I did. But yeah, so there's lots there. And then you can multicast frequencies to a bunch of different people at the same time. So it's a great thing for groups and memberships. And that's what I did back in November and December while we were doing abundance courses. Again, this is more of a full spectrum wellness solution, and it's non-invasive, even though it's a whole body scanner, but today we're only looking at 2 of the many modules. And it's an investment of 149 USD per month. So it depends on how many appointments you would have, and if it would convert to have it yourself. And then always, you guys know how to connect with me. So I think that's the last of the presentation. What I'm going to do is now go to the AO scanner. Do you see my screen now? Did you see my picture here? It says Tina Quinn at the top. Perfect. Okay. So this is a scanner. It's an app that you can add to your phone. When I first joined back in 2020, I purchased the device that was 900 US and then added the 149 app. Now they've figured out how to do the technology so your phone doesn't influence the frequency. So you can have the app on your phone, and you can also log in on any computer as well. So from a presentation perspective, I'm showing you the app, but you could realize that this would be small on your phone. Like it would take up the area of your phone. So we are going to look at MindSync. Okay. So right now, this is how it opens. We have I am affirmations just in general. We have health, 2 health, prosperity affirmations, memory, morning, evening, positive affirmations, and self-confidence. So these are the ones where, and we're going to do it we're going to do it together. Then what I use for abundance, I typically have something recorded. So you'll see back in our Zenler app that we have all of the 8 abundance blocks and the affirmations that go with it. That's what you're going to want to focus on. So whatever ones that you're focusing on, you would record those. And then each week, I'm going to be giving everybody a 120-second affirmation that has to do with the course that we're doing, which which will amplify what you're doing in the week. But for reasons of not having them right in front of me, we're going to do prosperity. So that's what I'm going, and you could scan yourself, see which one you need, but for the purpose of today, I'm going to do prosperity. Then I'm always going to look at the frequency of high. The high is 8 hertz difference of for both ears. And this, I'm just going to change the look of this. Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to change it to the minty. Let's do quartz. And then we can at least see, because I couldn't see it with the black. So you could see that I have the high selected. Now you can choose to turn the tones on or off, and then you can look at what you're feeling. So let's say, I don't know, let's say procrastination, because if you're doing the MindSync, the block for decluttering, sometimes we procrastinate with things. So I'll do the tone for procrastination. And then we could pick the music. I like this ambient evening. It's my favorite. But there's different ones you can really test. You can also scan to see which one your body wants. Then it has default settings. You don't even have to listen to your voice because the intention goes into the recording, but I do like to hear my voice. After testing with all the people that did the first round, I realized that people liked the music they like to listen to their voice and have the music in the background. So this is what I ended up choosing for everybody after testing. And then the tones I keep here. So now if I want to record, I'll go ahead and I'll record with you guys, and then I can maybe forward you guys what it sounded like from this, or I can actually do a test run with each of you on the side and record your voice. But for now, I'm just going to show you how it works. So I choose to hold life's many mysteries. I attract positive and loving individuals in my life. I love myself. I am peaceful, centered, and grounded. I am worthy of receiving love. Okay, so that was just a quick test. You may or may not be able to hear it when I play. Um, and the thing to remember is when you're recording, you want to put that. I didn't quite put the emotion in as I would have if I was doing it on my own or by myself. Maybe it's shyness. But now I'm going to play it. I don't know if the speakers will come through, but let's go ahead and listen and see if it comes through. Okay, so I'm not sure if you guys could hear it, but I could email myself and then I can show you what it would sound like. So you can, whatever the clients, right now it's under me. So I've set up an email called tina@aoscan@gmail.com because I get all of my scans emailed to myself there. And then whoever owns the app, you can include yourself there. But I prefer to send everything to there. I can send, and then this will generate an MP3 where you can then open it up from your email. Depending on your device, some people open it up in Spotify if they have a paid account. Some people just open it up and listen to it from their email. So that's the basis of doing this every day and talking. nicely to yourself with what you're manifesting. I'm just going to go back to the main page, and then I'm going to go into Cephies. These are all the different areas that I explained, but I'm going to go to custom lists. You'll notice that I have a lot of different lists over the years. So I have different things that I've worked on, but what we're looking for is under the A's, so abundance. So we're going to choose the abundance. Let's do career first. So from the different areas I've chosen success. So we're doing, this is a career one. So success, prosperity, creativity, unlimited creativity, self-confidence, focus, determination, a resolve, concentration. And then we get into some of the quantum flowers. So for career and business, so you have turkey bush. So if we look up turkey bush, it ignites creative flow, ideal for entrepreneurs and or creators feeling blocked. And then if we look at the jacaranda, enhances decision making and commitment. And then the kabak bush helps with perseverance and not giving up too easily. So you can see kind of, so I picked different ones for different purposes. So if you go now into financial, then we see all of the different things that I have chosen in the different affirmations. But if you go to the quantum flowers, we have Christmas bell, supports manifestation and grounding desires into physical reality. Five corners, it's also in the relationship. It encourages self-worth, essential for attracting wealth. Philotheca, I can hardly say that one, helps in allowing yourself to receive abundance with grace. A lot of times we reflect receiving abundance and we don't want to reflect it. Sunshine Waddle, that one is releasing patterns of past financial struggle, invites hope and new opportunities. We'll just go to the other one, relationships. So now with River Mummy is doing something, okay, bud? They don't realize. Okay, so in the relationship category, we have the love, forgiveness, relationship enhancement, all of these. So then if we go into the flowers and we do the emotions as well, anti-stress, I have the nervies as well in there. But from a quantum flower, I have encourages self-love, acceptance, helps to feel worthy of love. Philotheca supports receiving love and instead of deflecting them. Pink flannel flower cultivates gratitude and open-heartedness. So these are just some examples of the ones that I researched for today. But these are the abundance, depending on what we're working on. These are custom playlists that I've created. Other than that, these are all the different modules that you have. You could see how two of them are blocked, and that means I would need to do some levels of education to get them unblocked. But this is, if you can see, I know and use a lot of the AO scan, and I still haven't felt the need to go do the extra training to unlock. But it wouldn't change my price. It would still be 149 USD. But there's so much different things. I just didn't want to focus too much on everything, but tonight focusing more on us and what we have. So what I'm going to do is stop the recording for now, and we'll get into the questions. And yeah, if you're interested in the scan, you can always message me, and then we can do almost like a test scan, and I can show you how it works, and then we can go from there. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.